And welcome back, everybody, to another episode of MLB DFS Quick Hits, your Tuesday, August 17th edition. We have a monster 15-game slate on tap for you this evening, so we'll try not to take too much time, get you in, get you out, as we like to do on Quick Hits. You can follow me on Twitter at BDentric. If you have any questions, hit me up there or into the Fantasy DGen Slack chat, where we're talking almost all sports. We're talking prize picks. Yes, prize picks. If you're new to prize picks, it's basically prop bets meets DFS. So come check it out. Sign up with promo code Bubba, B-U-B-B-A, and get a first-time deposit bonus up to $100. PrizePicks.com. Download the app Prize Picks so you will not regret it. Also, if you're a season-long fantasy baseball player, check out the Bench with Bubba podcast, dropping Tuesdays and Thursdays for you. We'll have a new one coming out on Tuesday evening with Batflip Crazy as usual, recapping the week in Fab and much, much more. So go check out all that good stuff. Also, check out my written content at RotoBaller.com. On Tuesdays is the free DraftKings article, so go enjoy that as well. All right, 15 games. Let's get rocking and rolling. Pitching on this slate. Your top price pitcher is Corbin Burns at $10,200 at the St. Louis Cardinals. Yeah, you can jump on that one. That's fine. He threw an absolute dandy in Chicago his last time out, but even prior to that, pitching pretty well, 20-plus points, pretty much on the average. He has 40 or more in 2 of his last 5. So you get the ceiling like we saw with Garrett Cole on Monday. You can get that with Burns on Tuesday, potentially. The caveat I will say, it is a St. Louis Cardinals team that strikes out 22.6% of the time versus righties, hitting 263 with a 107 WRC plus versus righties over the last month. Corbin Burns is a special human being, though. So you can definitely go to Corbin Burns at 10-2. Not sure you have to. Lots of pitching on the slate if you want to save some cash. Burns is in play if you need to. And now it's time to save some cash. I'm not even going Framber Valdez on this one. I'm dropping down to Mr. Chris Bassett at $9,100 at the Chicago White Sox. Yes, the White Sox got to Montas. My pitching sucked on Monday. My picks were not great. We had the bats. We did not have pitching, which sucked. But where we're back on Tuesday, and Chris Bassett comes and takes the ball, 26 or more DK points in 3 straight starts. He has 20 or more DK points in 5 of his last 6 starts. He's gone at least 6 innings in 5 of his last 6 starts, and he has allowed 3 earned runs or less in 5 of his last 6 starts, with 6 or more Ks in 5 straight starts. Bassett's been outstanding, and so strikeouts that get me excited, plus the the distance in the game. Going up against this White Sox team, striking out 24% of the time versus righties. Montas was still getting strikeouts. That's a big key. He was still getting the strikeouts, just had issues limiting the damage. I'll go to Bassett at 91 on the slate if you need to. Adam Wainwright, 9,000. Our boy Waino coming off a nice 42-point performance. He has 19 or more points in 4 straight starts. He actually has 19 or more points in 5 straight starts. He's been absolutely outstanding. He's got at least 7 innings in each of those starts. He's allowed 3 earned runs or less in each of those starts, with 5 or more Ks in each of those starts. Now he gets to Milwaukee Brewers offense, who's actually a pretty darn good offense these days, but they're only striking out 18.8% of the time. That's the bugaboo. So if you want to go Waino at 9K, I think he's a great contrarian play off of Chris Bassett and some of these lower priced guys. Just know Milwaukee's hitting it well, and they're not striking out a ton. So that's something to keep in mind. But Waino is a great contrarian play in this matchup at home in a pitcher-friendly ballpark in St. Louis against the Milwaukee Brewers. One player I'll have a lot of exposure of this evening is Logan Webb at $8,800 for the Gigantes at home against the New York Mets. Webb's been outstanding, 19 or more points in 2 of his last 3 starts. Since he's come off the IL, he's been great. He's gone 6 innings in 4 straight starts, 2 earned runs or less in all 4, and he has 5 or more Ks in 3 out of the 4. He's got 8 or more in back-to-back starts, and that is still with a great ground ball to fly ball ratio, 7-0, 6-2, 13-3, 7-5, 10-1. He's getting the ground balls. He's getting the strikeouts. He's going at least 6 innings. These are all phenomenal things from Mr. Logan Webb. Gets a Mets team that Gossman looks pretty good against for the most part, striking out 21.4% of the time versus right-handed pitching with a 223 average and a 78 WRC plus. Logan Webb is one of my favorite pitchers on the slate. $8,800, outstanding. Alec Manoa at 86, another great price point here. Manoa coming off a strong 6 2/3, 2 earned 11 Ks against the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. 9 or more Ks in 3 of his last 5 starts. He has 15 or more points in 5 straight starts, including 26 or more in 3 of 5. He's gone 5 innings or more in 4 of his last 5 starts as well. So Manoa at 86 is very, very much a play, especially against a Washington Nationals team that is striking out only 20% of the time, but hitting 242, 83 WRC plus. Beat up team for sure. So Manoa at 86, solid play as well. Lots of options here. So this range, we got Bassett, Waino, Webb, Manoa from 86 to 91. I'd rank it Webb, Bassett, Manoa, Wainwright, with Wainwright being the best contrarian play here because most people will not play him. But I would have a lot of Logan Webb at $8,800. Time to save some cash. We slide on down to Huascar Yanoa at $7,300, taking the bump at Miami, coming off the IL through 83 pitches in his last rehab start, then plus through a bullpen. He is ready to rock and roll. Don't forget, this is the guy that had massive strikeout stuff before he went on the IL because he punched a wall because of his bad performance. Gets a Miami Marlins team that Touki Toussaint got the job done. I said Tuki's biggest problem was home runs. He gave up 2 solo shots, so he limited the damage that way. He went, I think, 6 or 7 innings, got the job done there. It's a Marlins team striking out 23% of the time versus righties, 262 average, 106 WRC plus. So at his price point of $7,300, outstanding on this slate. Hermann Marquez, $7,100 at home against the San Diego Padres. Big fan here. He got beat up against the Giants on the road his last time out, but prior to that, 29-7, 22-7, 16-9, 35-4. He's been great. 6 or more innings in pretty much every single start. 3 earned runs or less in most of those starts, and the strikeouts have been there. So Marquez at 71. It's against San Diego in Coors Field, so the ownership will be extremely low. Padres team striking out 21% of the time, hitting 249 with a 102 WRC plus for his right-handed pitching. Marquez at 71 on DK is outstanding. He's even intriguing on FanDuel at $8,400 if you're looking for a discount. So Hermann Marquez, definitely someone to keep in mind. Logan Webb, I believe, is quite cheap on FanDuel as well. So that's a great, great look there. So those will be kind of angles I'll be looking at. And then Vladimir Gutierrez is $7K at home against Cincinnati. He's put together 4 straight starts of 19 or more points, 6 or more innings pitched in all 4 starts, 2 earned runs or less in all 4 starts, and he's got 5 or more Ks in 3 of his last 4. He does like to walk guys, does like to pitch to contact, but the strikeouts have been up of late. He's going deep in games, and it's a Cubs offense you can expose, striking out 28% of the time for his right-handed pitching, hitting 232 with a 62 WRC plus. It's Great American Small Park, so that's sketchy, and he might be pretty popular because of the matchup, but he's in play as well. So if you're looking at this bottom tier here of Yanoa, Marquez, Gutierrez, I got Yanoa 1, probably still Marquez 2, Gutierrez 3, but Marquez and Coors against San Diego does not make you sleep well, I'll tell you that much. Recapping your pitching, you got Corbin Burns up top, phenomenal option, 10-2. But if you want to save some cash, you got Bassett, Waino, Webb, Manoa from 91 to 86. I rank that Webb, Bassett, Manoa, Wainwright. Webb is my favorite pitcher on the slate. Wainwright in this little grouping here, best tournament play as a pivot because they'll be very, very low owned. Cheaper options, Yanoa, Marquez, Gutierrez. I got them in that order. I like Yanoa quite a bit. I think Marquez is a great play. Just there is risk, Coors Field and all, but I think he's a phenomenal play. And then Gutierrez, Great American Small Park. Which one shows up? If it's the guy we've seen of late, could be pretty nice. So you got some nice pitching options to mix and match on this slate, that's for sure. If you're going cash games, you probably just pay up for Burns and pair him up with like Waino or Webb if you want. I'd even be okay potentially. Now, stick with Waino or Webb. I'd probably go Webb and Burns would be my way to go in that one. All right, the bats on this big old 15-game slate. Lots of ways to go on this slate. Catcher's position, no problem going with some Salvio Perez, be contrarian against Framber Valdez, who's been walking a lot of guys lately, so you could go there if you'd like. Will Smith's $4,800 for the Dodgers. He is absolutely crushing everything. He got Monday off, but he's hitting .310 over his last 10 games with 4 home runs, averaging 11 points per game. He's put up 10 or more points in 5 of his last 6 games. He's homered in 3 straight games. So Will Smith at 48 is a very strong play for you this evening. Cheaper plays, Elias Diaz and Coors at 44 is very strong if you're stacking up your Coors bats. Below 4K now, you got guys like Mike Zunino versus Means. I love this play. $3,700. We love Zunino versus lefties. He's pounding lefties. He gets Means tonight at 37, so he's someone to definitely keep in mind. Going down to the low 3s and below 3s, you could look at some options like, let's see, we're getting some cheapies now. You could go Tucker Barnhart. I don't think I'm going to go there in that matchup, but even cheaper, Ronnie Chirinos at 27. If you aren't using Gutierrez, Chirinos does have some pop in Great American Small Park, so I think that's interesting. Wilson Ramos at 26, if he gets to start for Cleveland, would be in play as well. Maldonado is always a punt with Houston. He's 23 versus Lynch, so you can go there if you need a punt. And then a few others. Austin Hedges is only 21. That's a really strong value if you want to go in that game as well. And then, there should be some options down below if you need them. First base position, you can always go Vladito if you want, but Matt Olson at 61 is a strong play. Ronaldo Lopez has pitched great out of the bullpen. 2 inning stints, maybe a 3 inning here and there. Phenomenal. Back in the rotation right now, spot starting for Rodon. I think Olson at 61 is a really, really strong play. If you're paying up, you can save some cash there. You can go to Votto at 55 if you want. Go even cheaper. Max Muncy went deep on Monday. This might be the best play up here. Max Muncy at 54, swinging a really hot bat, gets Will Crow at home. Really good play at $5,400. Like that one quite a bit. Cheaper, Cron with the walk-off in Colorado. He gets Chris Matt at 4,900, giving you some value in his matchup. Going down to the low fours and into the threes. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. is somehow first base outfield eligible. He's 39 versus Fetty and swinging it really well, so he can be a nice contrarian play. Ty France against Hearn at 38 is a good piece of the Seattle. But you got Hosmer and Coors. If you aren't using Marquez, Hosmer and Coors at 37 is not too shabby. I don't like targeting Stroman. Belt had a pinch hit home run. He's 37, but man, it's a tough one. Like Rowdy Tellez, I'd like to target Waino, but I don't like to target Waino. He's 34. Like Tellez and Belt are both really interesting plays in a tournament. Not looking to target those pitchers, but for a tournament, got my attention. So you can go that direction. If you're looking to save 3K and below, Connor Joe's 28 again, first base outfield, probably leading off for Colorado. Plug that value in wherever you can find them. Luke Voigt's only 27 versus Houck. I like Houck quite a bit, and it's only a doubleheader game. Boston, New York is a doubleheader. It's only a 7-inning game, so keep that in mind. With Voigt at 27, interesting tournament play. I like Frank Schwindel as a value a lot at $2,300. I've been talking about him on this show, Bench with Bubba, a lot lately. I've put in bids for him in season long. The dude's got a lot of pop. He's hitting of late. I don't know where he hit on Monday night, but he's hitting in second a lot lately, which is great to see. If you count Monday night's game, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's hitting safely in 9 of his last 10 games. He's put up double digits in 5 straight games. He's $2,300. Like I said, Gutierrez isn't bad, but he's still a lot of pitch to contact. You're still in Great American Small Park. So Schwindel at 23 is a really, really good value at first base if you're looking for one. He used to be first base outfield eligible. He's only first base now, so keep that in mind. But that is a really, really nice value. Second base position, you got Simeon at 54 is totally fine. Altuve at 54, we love him versus Lynch. I'm not using Ozzie Albies as much as I want to. I had some of him on Monday. I respect Alcantara enough not to go to Albies, but Albies swinging it very well. Hope you guys played your Brandon Lau versus Harvey because he went deep, as you would hopefully expect. But some cheaper options. Josh Rojas, second base shortstop for Arizona against Kyle Gibson at 47. Could be a nice low-owned contrarian angle. Jonathan India, it is Kyle Hendricks, but India at 45. Monster game on Monday, continues to produce. So he is intriguing in tournaments. Same with Colton Wong in tournaments. I'd rather have India. But Jazz Chisholm at 4K, I like Yanoa. Don't get me wrong. Chisholm went deep on Monday. He's starting to heat up, so keep him in mind. Abraham Toro's only 4K versus Hearn. I like that quite a bit as a potential value. Going down even cheaper now. Hori Polanco is only 35 versus Eli Morgan. That is a really, really good value in that matchup. Polanco's been showing some pop, hitting in the middle of that Twins lineup. Going up against Morgan at 35, that's really, really strong. Brosu went deep. Mike Brosu went deep on Monday. Just know if he can get pinch hit for when Means comes out if you want, but 3K is an interesting tournament play for Mike Brosu at 3K, second base, third base eligible for the Tampa Bay Rays. Luis Arias, second base, third base at 28. He's pretty much a singles guy, but if you're stacking it up, I get it. Yanni Hernandez from the right side. He's a switch hitter, but coming from the right side, going up against Tyler Alexander at 25 could be a nice little value in that matchup there in Seattle. So he's second base, third base eligible at 25. That could be a quite intriguing one as well. All right, I think that's about it. Clement, again, from Cleveland. Not sure I need to go there like we talked about yesterday. So, yeah, we'll end it there at Yanni. Third base, you got Machado in Coors at 6K. That's fine. But J-Ram at 57, I like going back to that well. Ober's a massive fly ball guy, so J-Ram at 57 is quite intriguing. Matty Chapman went deep again on Monday. We talked about that pretty exclusively. He's 55 versus Ronaldo Lopez. Some cheaper options, though. Yeah, Johnny VR went deep on Monday. Not looking to target Webb. Like Chris Bryant double-donged. Not looking to target Stroman. So that's a bummer. So we'll probably go down and skip a few more here. Chris Taylor at 45. Dodgers are very, very much in play versus Will Crow. So Will Taylor at 45. He's third base outfield eligible. Kyle Seager's facing a lefty. You guys know what to do. Kyle Seager at 44 versus Hearn. Probably a little bit of Hearn and then a lot of Texas bullpen. So Seager at 44 is definitely in play. Rafael Devers, it is a 7-inning game. Remember that was only 41 versus Jomo. If you need to, but like value-wise, Candelario still crushing everything right now. He's hitting 324 over his last 10 games with 8 extra base hits, averaging 10.5 points per game. He's only $3,700 for Dylan Bundy. That's pretty solid in that matchup. Josh Donaldson's 35. That's a good value against Eli Morgan. The Twins are showing some intriguing value in this one. There's a lot of value. It's 15-game slate. But Twins are quite interesting because Eli Morgan, I don't buy into what he's doing. Mike Brosu at 3K. Again, we talked about him a second ago. Luis Arias at 28. Talked about him a second ago. as a couple options for you. Like Yanni Hernandez, again, 25, good value, second base, third base eligibility there. And that's about, I think, where I am. There's a lot of guys down here. So we're getting closer to September where a lot of call-ups are happening, a lot of silly values out there. Shortstop position, Bichette at 6K, yes. You can play him versus Fetty. Tatis is great at 59. His actually price went down, but it's Marquez. It's probably why. But I get it. But if you don't want to pay all the way up, you can go Semien at 54 if you want. But Story in Coors at 53 against the bullpen, that's a pretty strong look there in that matchup. I like that quite a bit. Trey Turner at 5K is great, and so is Wander Franco at 5K. As Franco starting to really swing it well. He got Monday off. So you can look at Story, Turner, and Franco, 5K, and 5,300 as some really nice pay-up spots on this slate. If you're looking cheaper, though, Corey Seager at 46 versus Yanoa is not too shabby. Jake Cronenworth at $3,900 in Coors I like. Crawford, again, not looking to target Stroman, but only 38 for B-Craw. Nice little value for you in that one. A few others. I mentioned Hori Polanco is only 3,500, second base shortstop. I like that price point quite a bit in that matchup. Going below 3K now. There hasn't been a ton now. Ramon Urias again, 3,600 or 2,600, I should say, 2,800. Sorry, for Baltimore to be a guy you could look at in his situation. Otherwise, there's not a ton. Like I'm not playing Jorge Mateo. I'm not playing somebody. Like there's other values I'll go and play at their positions. Outfield position, 15 game slate, tons of guys. Shohei's $6,500. Like that's insane. Probably valid, but insane. Marte's 61, valid but insane on this slate. We'll go down cheaper though. Like Teoscar Hernandez at 54 is in play. I don't hate that. Eloy Jimenez, I'm not looking to target Bassett, but Jordan Alvarez at 49 versus Lynch. I like that because lefty people will avoid that, but I don't see Lynch going too deep. So Jordan at 49 is in play for you. Nelly Cruz versus the lefty Means at 47 is outstanding. That's a really good price point. We talked about Chris Taylor at 45, Cedric Mullins at 44 versus Rasmussen is not a bad look. You got Blackman back in Coors at 43. He went deep on Monday night. So Blackman at 43 can be a nice little look for you as well. Going to the low fours now. You got Randall Grichuk at 42. He's just been slumping tremendously. Like Bellinger at 42 versus Crow. Arozarena is only 4,200 versus Means. That is ridiculously cheap. That's a misprice with Arozarena versus Means at 42. And then Max Kepler. I've been mentioning how hot he is. He's $4,200. He went deep again on Monday. He's over in 2 of his last 3 games. He's got 20 or more points in 3 straight games. He's heating up. He's hit safely in like 6 of his last 10 games. Kepler at 42 in that matchup versus Morgan is a really good a good GPP play, in my opinion. Almost cash viable, but definitely a good GPP play. Going 4K and below now, Ketel Marte against Gibson at 4K. I like that quite a bit for the ceiling he brings to your matchup. You got AJ Pollock at 4K if you look in that direction. Lourdes Gurriel, I mentioned him at 39 earlier. McCutchen versus Caleb Smith. Caleb Smith gives up a ton of home runs. Kutch at 38, back in Arizona. Really good look there. Trent Grisham went deep on Monday. I liked him for his value. He's down to 38 versus Marquez. The bright side, Marquez goes, 6? You get 3 innings of bullpen. That's enough for Colorado to screw up. So Grisham at 38 is a good value in his matchup. Some cheaper plays. Like JD Martinez is only 36. It's a 7-inning game, but he gets to face Jomo a couple times. That's interesting. I hate playing those 7-inning guys, but you get JD at 3,600. That's interesting for sure. Like Joey Gallo's 3,500. Those are kind of interesting. But Rafael Ortega at 34, like that versus Gutierrez, good value in that matchup. Corey Dickerson at 34 versus Fede is good value in the Toronto aspect of things. Cheaper options. Kyle Schwarber, I'm probably not going there, but Robbie Grossman's only 33 versus Bundy, like that quite a bit. In his matchup, especially leading off most likely versus Bundy, you can go there. Seth Brown's 31. He should be starting versus Ronaldo Lopez. Yadiel Hernandez, but no, I'm not going against Manoa, sorry. But Seth Brown at 31, I like that. Brian Reynolds at 31, switch hitting versus David Price. That's a good tournament play. Going down below 3K now, you got the likes of Connor Joe again at 28. Love that play. It's one of the better values you're going to find on the entire slate. Again, 7-inning game, but you get Hunter Renfroe who's swinging it really well. Faces the lefty and Jomo at $2,800. They're making it. I used to just cross off 7-inning games. They're making it more intriguing now. I'll say that much. So you got Renfroe at 28 as an option. You got Santander at 28 against Rasmussen. Manny Margot's even 28 versus Means. I'm not a big Margot guy right now, but he does like his lefties. Brent Rooker's 28 versus Morgan. If you're going all in on Minnesota, he's in play, but probably not using him unless you're going crazy in that build. cheaper options as we get to 25 and below. Jesus Sanchez is back from Miami. He was hitting cleanup. Not looking to target Yanoa, but that is value. Sam Hilliard's only 25 in Coors. I like that price point. Jared Kalenick's only 25. I like that as well. A few others. You got Brinson down here, nice and cheap as usual because it's DK and that's what they do. I will say, if you want to get contrarian, DJ Peters is swinging it of late. He's hit homers in 2 of his last 3 games. He's totally a GPP only play. Brings a ton of power from the right side of the plate. Going up against Tyler Alexander at $2,300 makes for a phenomenal tournament value. Could lay a complete goose egg, but there's a lot of upside there with DJ Peters at 23 with the power he brings to your lineup. Lou Brinson at 22, the usual in his matchup. DJ Stewart's only 22 to be contrarian. He's homered a bit lately too. He's another boomer bust guy. So you got DJ Peters and DJ Stewart down here at 23 and 22 respectively to make things even more interesting for you. But check your lineups as there's always fun stuff to get involved with. Recapping your pitching real quick, you can go to Corbin Burns at 10-2. No problem with that at all. But I'll be sitting in that 86 to 91 range with Bassett, Waino, Webb, Manoa. Like all 4 of them a lot. I rank it Webb, Bassett, Manoa, Wainwright for me. Webb's my favorite pitcher on this slate. I think Waino is a great GPP ownership pivot in this range, though. We've talked about that before with Waino. Fits again tonight. My value arms, Manoa at 73, Marquez at 71, Gutierrez at 7K. I rank them in that order. Marquez and Gutierrez each have their equal risk, but I like them all. If you're looking cash, go Webb and Burns. That's where I go in cash pitching. Stacking it up, Toronto versus Fetty is definitely in play for you. Tampa Bay versus Means, I like a lot. Like if you're going Toronto, it's the usual suspects. Look for Dickerson as some value, maybe Gurriel as some value. Tampa Bay versus Baltimore, love that. A Rosarena price at only 42. Franco's 5K in play. Maybe Margot if you want, or go Brosu. Love Zunino as well. So you got some, and Nelly Cruz. So actually, in reality, I'd probably go a Rosarena, Cruz, and Zunino as my top 3 in that lineup. Detroit could be a value for you, especially Candelario versus Bundy. That's one to look at. I like Seattle and Texas both have a little bit of appeal. Mentioned the DJ Peters value for Texas. On the Seattle side of things, you got your Toros, your Kalenicks, your Seagers. Love Seager versus a lefty. Keep that in mind. Houston versus KC is very much in play versus Daniel Lynch. That Cleveland-Minnesota game, Cleveland versus Ober. We like that a bit. The usual J. Rams, Fran Mills, Ahmed Rosarios, and a few others. But on the flip side with Minnesota, you got Valium Polanco at 35. You got Kepler at only 42. I like quite a bit. Donaldson's only 35. So you got some value with Minnesota as well in that matchup. Colorado versus San Diego. Love that one. Blackman's cheap. Connor Jones is one of your best values on the slate at $2,800. Hilliard's cheap. Lots of ways to go to still fit in Trevor Story without a problem. Philadelphia versus Arizona. You can obviously go Harper versus Caleb Smith, but Segura and McCutchen, I like them a lot versus Caleb Smith. You can even go Real Muto if you want, but McCutchen is one of my favorite plays in that game. And then the Dodgers versus Pittsburgh. Have fun with that one for sure. But that'll wrap us up, folks. 15-game slate in the book. Again, I'm on Twitter at BDintric. Hit us up in the Fantasy DJ and Slack chat if you have any questions. It is free. Go check out Prize Picks. It is a great way at DFS Met Prop Picks. We give out our picks in that Slack chat all the time. But if you're new to Prize Picks, use promo code BUBBA, B-U-B-B-A, when you create your account. You get a first-time deposit bonus up to $100. I would highly recommend checking that out at prizepicks.com. Also, go check out Benched with Bubba podcast for your season-long fantasy baseball needs. Go give a rate and review to Benched with Bubba and MLB DFS Quick Hits. Would truly appreciate it. Last but not least, go check out my written content at RotoBaller.com. Tuesday's the free DraftKings article, so go get all the good stuff there. All right, everybody, in the books. Hope you guys have a great Tuesday, much better than Monday. I'll be back with you guys on Wednesday, but for now, MLB DFS Quick Hits, your Tuesday, August 17th edition in the books. I'm out.